Okay, so carrying on with this story here. Going with here we go. Okay, so this is one of the clues I used to find your mother. So Amelia Clark plays the mother of dragons from Game of Thrones. So she's when you watch this video, they come up to her and she's sitting in the crowd. So Amelia Clark, mother of dragons. That's her there. That's Amelia Clark. But behind Amelia there, you see those 13 or 13? Um, that's a secret number that your mother doesn't know that she has, but I do. So it's in my book here, where this is a picture I drew of her of a picture that I seen on her one of her social media sites. So that's her there. She's wearing the number 13. That's her friend wearing the number 31. So those two numbers are connected to my number here. This is my status card number here. So that 13 and 13, that's what I use to avoid paying the provincial taxes. So when I go to a store, I give them that card. Like if I go to Walmart, I go there and I have like $100 worth of groceries. This will allow me to save 7%. I'll save 7%. I won't have to pay the provincial taxes. So I give them this card and they take off the taxes. I usually say 1313 is my number. So that's my number there, 1313. So she has that number 13 in that picture. And her friend wearing the number 31 just simply means 1313 when you reverse it. So that's one of the clues that I used to find her. So I'm just going to roll with that. I'm not going to worry about all this other stuff here. But, well, maybe I should talk about it a little bit. So let's look at this here. So in creation, there's four elements: water, fire, earth, air. Those are what we base the seasons on. We don't base them on spring, fall, summer, and winter because that's not Native American style. So that's what a normal calendar looks like. So each day is broken down into 22 days, or each month is broken down into 22 days long. So when you do 22 days times 16 months, you get a calendar year of 352 days per year, not 365. And this is down to it's always 352 days per year because you want to think of that. See those lines there that connect from the sun to the planet? Think of that as visible electromagnetic radiation connected to the black hole at the sun. So that there's like a chain connected to the planet that holds it in place, and it's just spinning around there around that chain. So it's always the same rotation. It's always going to be 352 days per year, not 365. So each year is basically 77,444 hours long. So that comes from when you multiply 352 days per year times each month being 22 months long or 22 days long, you get a calendar year of 7,744. Well, that 704, that's my birth year. You'll notice it up here, 1974. So that 1974, on the creator's equation, means that I'm the creator and nobody else is the creator. Those aliens that are going to come over here, they don't have a birth year born in 1974 like me. So these here are just, there's 16 months, which represent, how many months there are per year. And then these are basically, each day is 22 hours long. So there's 44 weeks. When you times 8 days a week, because there's 8 days a week. So when you do 8 days a week times 44, you get 352 days per year. So 352 divided by 8 days a week is 44 weeks per year. That's just a bonus question, which basically is 44 weeks times 16 months gives you 704. So there's 704, 704, 704. It's a representation of grandfather, father, and son, spirit, being the father of all creation. So because we share that same number, 1313, and she's got the number 1313 there, it's a representation of 1313 there, meaning she's the mother of all creation, simply by that picture and that creator's equation, which you read about in my book. So she's the mother of dragons. So you need to next know that she has a sister named Amelia. Well, this is her video here. If you look for this video, you can see her sister's name is Amelia. So Amelia Clark, or Jaden Clark, through the association of her sister, Amelia. Now, this is Superman. So his name is Clark Kent. So I'm a representation of Superman. So Amelia Clark means Amelia Superman through the association of Clark Kent, meaning Amelia Superwoman, or Jaden Superwoman through the association of Clark Kent. But since I'm Superman, that makes her Superwoman through the 1313 and the creator's equation here of us sharing that same number. So now you got to factor in the fact that Amelia Earhart was born in 1897, July 24th. So that's her sister. But there's National Cousins Day celebrated on July 24th, which is the day the Amelia Earhart was born. So I'm her fourth cousin because my dad and or my grandfather or my grandmother and her great grandfather were brother and sister. My dad and her grandfather are first cousins, which makes me and him second cousins, which makes me and her mother third cousins, which makes me and her fourth cousins. So we're fourth cousins. So she wouldn't know that Amelia and her sister, um, through her sister, means that we're National Cousins Day or July 24th. So you now take in, that's the fourth cousin there. That's fourth cousin average DNA, which is about less than 1%. Um, you take that to this video here, breaking the fourth wall. It means breaking my fourth cousin's wall, who's put walls up around her heart or her mind about entertaining the idea of getting with me because it's like I said, it's like a passing phase. Imagine a young lady developing a crush on a picture of somebody. Like imagine a young lady developing a crush on who's the guy that's really famous now? Ryan Reynolds, right? So imagine a young girl getting a crush on Ryan Reynolds, knowing that she'll never ever get with Ryan Reynolds because he's older than her and famous. But then all of a sudden, Ryan Reynolds coming back and telling that young girl when she's an adult, "Hey, guess what? You're my soulmate. You're mother of creation. You want to get with me?" It comes from that perspective. So she's built up the walls because she's left me in the past. She knows that she can never get with me. And then the letters I wrote and to the community kind of made her not like me. So now that I'm coming back telling this story, she has these walls up because she thinks I'm bad and she doesn't want anything to do with me because she's in love with another man. So breaking the fourth wall means breaking my fourth cousin's walls down, which is connected to Halo. So this is the live version of Beyonce. She says here, "I can't believe it. I'm living my dreams." That's what she says. I can't believe it. I'm living my dreams. So she has a tear coming down the eye, which is a representation of Jaden having a crush on a much younger version of me when I was 17, when I wore a suit and tie and had lace long hair, and living in a fantasy world constructed around that picture where she wanted to be with me in fantasy, but knew that she never could be with me because I'm 26 years older than her. There's no way that we would ever got together. So it's just living in a perpetual state of fantasy until she grew out of that fantasy when she met, her current boyfriend. It's like, I know I'll never get with Anthony, so why even bother entertaining that idea? So she just tossed me aside. But now I'm coming up there and saying, hey, guess what? That fantasy, it was designed because you're the mother of all creation. You now have a chance to make that fantasy come real. So that's her saying, I can't believe it. I'm living my dream. She starts crying. So that's the video here, the live version, which is about you, that's basically you, like saying, I can't believe it. I'm living my dream. If you choose to, reach out to me, you can live that dream. So you want to watch this one here because this one kind of the live version isn't the full song. So you didn't put on this one here after you listen to Beyonce at the beginning, and then you get the lyrics. Remember those walls I built? Or remember those walls I built, fourth cousin? Remember those fourth cousin walls I built? Right here? Remember those fourth cousin walls I built? Well, maybe they're tumbling down. So it can mean that They're gonna she's gonna tear those walls down. However, if she doesn't tear those walls down, one of those other 8 ladies that have selected, those walls could come tumbling down because they may want to entertain the idea of becoming a new mother creator, meaning, carrying that baggage that they have to carry around that I have to carry around. So that's what that means. I don't know whose walls are going to come tumbling down, but I hope they're Jaden's, my fourth cousin, so I could break those fourth cousin wall downs or break the fourth wall. So they didn't even put up a fight. Who's they? Well, in this particular video, in the event that, all 80 of these ladies, they don't put up a fight to, get with me, well, then perhaps, Beyonce's daughter, Blue Ivy, might want to pick up that flame. So they didn't even make a sound. Like the 8 girls that I've selected didn't even make a sound saying they didn't even show interest in me. So I found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. That's coming from grandmother, but we don't really know who the angel is yet because these ladies haven't made their intentions known yet. So it's like I've been awakened spiritually. Every rule I had you breaking. So Jaden, the rules that I broke here, I broke them for you, and it was your spirit that made me break those rules because she's living inside of me. The grandmother and grandfather of all creation told me to break those rules, or you told me to break the rules, so I broke them. That's what it means. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. So she's taking a risk, hoping that you may come to your senses and reach out to me so that you can secure your role as mother creator. So it's a risk that she's taking because Blue Ivy could get that job. I ain't never going to shut you out. Well, who's that? Well, in the event that I get shut out from everybody, that's Blue Ivy. So if you want to look up, who I'm talking about, just look at Blue Ivy. Okay? So that's her there, Blue Ivy. So she's Black Beauty. So you want to look up this trailer here because it's about her being the Black Beauty. Next, you want to look up this trailer here, Spirit Untamed, official trailer. So in the trailer, you're going to see Lucky, I think her name's Lucky here. She sees the horse running, and she goes, oh no! So that's the horse. It's a representation of me trying to find a mate, and that being Blue Ivy. So there's the horses. That's me because I'm the horse because there's an association with Crazy Horse Monument and people thinking I'm crazy. So the caboose is the back of the train or the rear of the train. So because it's the rear, it's a representation of these 8 ladies thinking I'm an a-hole. So that's what the caboose represents. But perhaps Blue Ivy maybe not thinking that. So that's Blue Ivy thinking I'm not an a-hole, and that's me trying to find a soulmate. So she's reaching out to maybe, potentially get with me. So next you're going to see this here. It says, you look just like your mother, right? So that part there where she looks just like her mother is right there. So yeah, she does look just like her mother. So you got to take that part of the Black Beauty, then Spirit, and connect it to Crazy Horse, because this is Crazy Horse, Crazy Horse Monument, Crazy Horse Monument. So everyone on planet Earth probably thinks I'm crazy for the spiritual warfare that I wage, but I'm not crazy. I'm the normal person right here. I'm the Anthony Oliver Coggy. I've always been my entire life. But there's a portion of my life, 7 to 8 years, where I had to do an investigation. Of those 7 to 8 years, roughly 5% of that, or 200 days, was spent, investigating using spiritual warfare. But those 200 days, it's not a reflection of who I am now. It's just those 200 days where I did the police investigation. I stepped outside my comfort zone of who I am to conduct that investigation. But when I sober up, I'm back to who I was and always have been. But people always associate the 5% or the 200 days of me doing that work as who I am now and who I always have been. When that's not the case. So they call me crazy for the spiritual warfare work. So that's the connection to the horse or Black Beauty, potentially believing that I'm not crazy. So you watch that one, that's what it's about. You want to know what the dirty job is? It's, trying to track down evil. It's a very, very dirty job. So Matchbox 20. Um, Unwell. So, you know, unwell simply means when you watch that one that I'm looking for love, but people thinking I'm crazy. So I so it's like I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell. I know right now you can't tell, but stay a while. Maybe then you'll see a different side of me. I'm not crazy. I'm just a little impaired on crystal meth during the 200 days investigation of fighting dirty. Right? I had to fight a little dirty to get some information. That's all. Everyone thinks that you get this illusion in your mind from the cinematics of Hollywood of how a fight between good and evil is going to go down. Like you got the supernatural where the clouds are going to part. Some army comes riding down on horses with wings and shooting lightning bolts out the fingers, and then you got Satan over here with demons crawling out of the ground and wings on the back, and them guys having pitchforks in their hand trying to stab the other guys with lightning. That stuff's not real, man. So the real battle just means, sometimes it's not a sanctioned boxing match where you got two opponents in the corner and a referee with gloves on, and you're fighting in the ring, and there's rounds, and there's referees to judge the match. It's not like that either, guys. When you're trying to take down evil, sometimes it's a street fight where anything goes. Meaning I could kick the guy in the balls if I wanted to, or I could poke him in the eyes like the Three Stooges. I could go like that, right? I could smash his head on the concrete or something. So it's like a street fight. Or sometimes you got to get a little dirty to win the fight, is what I'm trying to teach you. It's not always like Hollywood, guys. So sometimes I had to get a little impaired, is what it means. But it's not a reflection of who I am, because that's only 200 days of, being impaired. So I know right now you don't care. Meaning I know right now you don't care, Jaden. But soon enough, you're going to think of me and how I used to be. Okay, I do remember him, trying to get a hold of me and trying to convince me that I was the mother of all creation. But I just shut that door because I didn't think that was true. I thought it was just some wacko crazy nut job, just blowing smoke, blowing hot air, right? But soon you're going to see that no, I was right all along. So that's what it means. You're going to think of me and how I used to be in terms of trying to get a hold of you. So this here, that's my dog Louie. Louie. You see his ears on him? Say hi, Lou. You see how he's got the same ears as that dog? This is also Leia's dog. Okay? There's a shared ownership of this dog between me, my son Mean Gun, because it's Mean Gun's dog. So he's going to my son Mean Gun's house tonight to go stay with him. But also Sabrina also raised Louie. So he's a shared dog between three families. And Leia always spends time with him. So that's your dog, Leia. And because that's your dog, the dog in the video here is a representation of Louie. And because that dog is riding beside that guy, it's a representation of you riding beside me in that car as the mother of all creation. So next is the plane. So that's Louie on the plane. But you wouldn't know that. You guys are asleep. So I'm not crazy. I'm just alone. Well, I know right now you can't tell, Leia. So, but stay a while, but maybe then you'll see a different side of me. So that's Louie right there. You gotta take a look at him. Hey, there. Hey, Leia. You see me now? Can you see me? Is Anthony crazy? Hey, Lou. And by the way, that's Louie's spirit. His spirit is the one that put that clue there, Leia. So that you could see that clue and know that Anthony's not crazy. Okay, there he goes down. So that airplane wing that he's on and the plane that he's on is Chantal Krabiotzik leaving on a jet plane. So let me know you'll wait for me. Leia, hold me like you'll never let me go, Leia. Right? So that's what it represents. And because I'm leaving on a jet plane. And these guys are talking. It's like, so Truman, this is who you found to save the planet. So in the event that Jada doesn't want the job of becoming the mother of all creation, that job falls to you. But in order to secure that position, you need to verify whether or not the story that I've been told is true or not, which is that you came across some pictures at your mom's of me when I was 17 in a suit and tie with long hair and developed the same crush that mother developed. Because that's what I've been told. I mean, if you didn't develop that crush and I'm looking for a new soulmate, I'm pretty certain just picking you randomly off the street, isn't a very good love story. But if you have the same emotional attachment as the old mother of creation and she rejects me and you have the same story, meaning you developed a crush on a much younger version of me, but knew in your heart that you're never going to get with me because there's a huge age difference between you and I, So, but, if that's the case, you can now secure that position because it's now become reality. So if you develop a crush and, knew that you're never going to get with me, and now I'm telling you that you can, well, that opportunity is there to take in case, your cousin doesn't want it. So all my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside your door, Jaden. I hate to wake you up spiritually to say goodbye. Meaning, if you don't do anything to secure your future with me or, verify any of these facts, then I have to move on to whoever is going to accept me. And it in theory, could be Leia, simply through the airplane and the dog and the connection to the plane here. So now we go on to Warhorse. Okay. Warhorse is connected to Black Beauty and the Spirit trailer and the Crazy Horse Monument trailer, meaning there's a potential that Blue Ivy could see me as waging spiritual warfare. She knows that, I wage spiritual warfare and that I'm not crazy. And that's what Warhorse represents. Like, she can see me waging spiritual warfare, understands that I'm not crazy, and potentially could be the one that, supersedes you girls in the event that you don't step up to the plate. That's what Warhorse is about. But there's always the option of Charlotte. So she too might believe me when she sees this part of the story. If she sees the story and sees all the clues fit together, that's you, Charlotte, because you wear blue dresses all the time. In fact, there's one right there. Right? So that's what it represents. You're that girl in the car, potentially, securing your future is the mother creator in the event that these other, ladies don't want that job. And this here is just a song, A Horse with No Name. Meaning, it's by America, which has the Native American cover on there. You see Native Americans there? It just represents that when the aliens who are come here and claim to be your mother and father, I'm going to be a horse with no name. Everyone's going to think I'm crazy. And I'm just a regular nobody. I'm a horse with no name. That's what the song is about. Because I don't have spaceships. I can't resurrect the dead. I can't heal the sick. But my book has all that technology there. So those are the clues. Which kind of got off tangent there a little bit, Jaden, because I wanted to keep it focused on you, but I didn't want to leave that information out because, you need to know that people are knocking at that door who want to potentially marry me in the event that you don't want to. And if you hold in those feelings, you could miss out on what I theorize is what you've always wanted. So now I'm going to go on to some more information that you don't know about.